I'm coming on here to do another live to finish this drawing. I am going to catch people up by showing you where I started on this. And I can do that by clicking on my, oops, sorry, wrong button, by clicking on the right button, which is the preview the time lapse. So this is going to show you where the drawing started. It takes a minute for it to create this little video. I love Adobe Fresco because it allows me to record every stroke, and so that I can show people how a drawing came into being. Excuse me, I'm just drinking my morning coffee while I do this drawing. Like, life is so good, okay? It's Saturday. I love my main job, my day job, but I am relieved when it comes to the end of the week because it's a busy job. And so I have Saturday and Sunday off. And so I really, really enjoy Saturday morning coffee. And now I get to draw with people. It makes it even better. So coffee, there we go. This document's taking a little bit longer than I expected, but it should be done soon. And I'll show you how it came to be. So this is titled "A Woman in a Psychedelic Field." Let's see, "Woman in a Cyber Psychedelic Field of Flowers." And so she didn't start out looking the way you see her now. It took a little while to get her there. But she starts coming into being here, as you can see, and then it gets really dark so you can really see. And then somewhere in here, when I started doing the heavier black lines, I went live with the drawing. I like to be somewhat prepared when I do a live so that I don't completely flounder and waste people's times, because if I know where I'm going with a drawing, I can talk through the details that I'm doing so that I can help other people with tips and ideas. But if I don't know where I'm going with a drawing, like, I need to be alone. So this is catching everybody up where we started. And I think that I blocked in color last time, and I found I was having some issues with the greens, and I had to kind of work on that. I did this texture last time, I remember. And then I think we ended there, and this I did after I started working on painting a little bit more. I think I did it last night because I got home too late to do a live. I mean, you can do a live in the middle of the night, but everybody's sleeping in my area. So I decided to wait until this morning. And pretty soon we are going to be at the end of the drawing, and I'm going to actually pick up where I left off. So there we go. That catches everybody up. I'm just going to check the comments real quick. Oh, hi, Russian. Oh, Russian, yay! I'm doing art. You got me into doing art. Oh, I'm thrilled. Like, that's the goal, is that more people enjoy making art. So this is an iPad. This is an Apple Pencil. The program is Adobe Fresco. If you are thinking about making art, it's a great way to go. It's easy to clean up. You just turn it off. You can take it with you on vacation. You can take it with you on the bus. Anyway, love it. Oh, great. Russians doing circus and clowns. Wonderful. I'd love to see your art. So maybe we can figure out how to doing a close on a clown. I bet you mean a clown on stilts. Fabulous. Okay, Russian, if I don't answer you, it's because I'm going to start drawing, okay? I will check your comments later and see what else you have to say. Okay, so the reason I named this cyber psychedelic was because the colors. I'm gonna have lots and lots of colors. How often do you walk through a field like this? I've walked through some pretty amazing flower meadows in the mountains, but never one like this. So this is more like a psychedelic, kind of crazy made up field. But the cyber I really got from the fact that if I backlight this and I use a lot of pinks and aquas, it falls in that realm. Plus she's more modern than where the term psychedelic really kind of got popular was back in the 70s and 60s and 70s of the last century. And so I think cyber kind of updates that whole genre. So here we go. I'm going to start drawing finally. Okay, I'm going to choose a wet brush. And I want to get on to, let's see, what was I working on last? Oh, I'm working on all the flowers. And I'm working on the background and the bugs. Okay, I can pretty much take up anywhere here. So I think I'm going to work on the bugs. So we'll make one nice and big here. And let's go with trying to stick pretty close to my palette. I'm going to have to do tones, shades and tints in order to get things to completely stand out the way I want them to. So here I'm not selecting anything. I'm just letting the brush strokes go over, and I'll clean up a little bit later. Sometimes I'm very picky about that, and I do a lot of selection so that none of my lines go mix. So what's cool about this oil paint short is if I'm in an area where there's no paint, it's true to the color I picked out. But as soon as I leave my pencil down and I move into another area, it blends. It's like one of the best blending ones I've really come across. I mean, there's so many good tools on here, but that's one I really enjoy. Okay, and then we'll go with this super dark. Oh, maybe we better go with the black. What did I do on the other one? Oh, I went with a purple. Ooh. And his head. Okay. How about we go with a red this time? We'll do some red on his head. I have to make this smaller, and then I'll clean up. So I just changed the diameter quite a bit of the brush. And a shout out to my cousin who passed on, Art Haas. He was an artist. Grew quite a bit when he was an artist in Chicago back in the day. He was, I believe, in his early 80s when he passed on about a year ago. And he would put in some of his later paintings he would put scarabs, really beautiful, colorful scarabs. And so I think of him often because I helped organize his, I did a small thing. I did the art cards, but I helped with his memorial, and I just went back to Wisconsin for his memorial. And so he pops in my head a lot. And of course, I'm drawing a lot because I'm doing this YouTube, kind of this new push for me. And so the scarabs are my way to like say, Art, I know you're up there. You're still encouraging me. Thank you. You did beautiful, lovely, fun art. Okay, I am going to clean up a little bit. It's not too bad. Just a little. I don't want to leave any blank spots though, either. You know, these guys need some eyes. So if you want to put a color in a place where you've already got paint, you have to do a lot of tapping to get the color to come through the way you want it to. And then I could make this really tiny. And not that you're necessarily going to see this, but I'll know. I'm going to add a little highlight to his eye right there. So you see we are really, really getting picky here when you can start to see the pixels. You know, like you can't see what I just did there, but it's okay. I know it's there. Thanks for stopping by this morning. I am trying to grow my channel, so please hit like and subscribe if you enjoy this in any way. And okay, yes, Russian. Yeah, well, we all start somewhere, and you have to get. I had an art professor who said to me one time, he's like, you have to get all the bad drawings out. And the only way you get the bad drawings out is to put them down on paper or put them down on an iPad. Get them out of your system. Get them out of your world. Figure out what you're going to. I mean, we all learn from our mistakes, like in every part of life. Drawing is no different. You got to get those bad drawings out. I really am enjoying my morning coffee. Okay, so we're going to do another bug. This one, I think I'm going to go with a yellow-orange on this next bug. And so I started a little bit, I went a little small with my brush there. Let's go back up and find a nice yellow. Here, let's choose that one. And we'll do the legs first. Or these are actually the little feelers, antenna, elaborate whiskers. Not sure what you want to call them, or don't totally know their function other than watching beetles in my lifetime. It seems they feel with them. Sometimes when things are coming off the front of a creature like that, there's some pinching that happens. I don't know that those are pinchers. I think of that more with like crabs and crayfish. When I was growing up in Wisconsin, we had crayfish in our creek. We had a creek. I lived on a farm. Born and raised there until I was a teenager. Then we moved to town, unfortunately. I really didn't want to move to town. But we used to go We used to go fishing, uh, crayf crayfish, crawfish. I'm not sure how you want to pronounce it. We always called them crayfish when I was growing up in our little creek. I wonder if I don't even know if that creek is still there because someone put a pond in upstream of the creek. They kind of like a beaver dam, you know. They created their own little pond, and I think it stopped our creek from happening. I think there wasn't quite enough water to support that pond and also support our little creek. And our little creek was not really, it wasn't like a mainstay for us or anything. It was just, my dad put a culvert in it so he could drive the tractors over it. And that pond, I think, ended up being a nice wildlife refuge for quite a few animals. So what we gave up gave them something, gave the critters a different place right down the road. And, oh, I know what I want to add into this one. Let's add some green. And we'll add some green here. Let's add some green there. Yeah, I like that. And then it might be kind of hard to add some green into this big field of, I have to tap a lot to get that fresh paint over push those very dense pink. And let's see, how about if I bring it back here? Those dense pixels or thick paint, however you want to look at it. It's really, I'm like, oh, that's thick paint. But it's not. It's just pixels, you know? And so I have to, they're so good with this program. You really feel like you're using paint. It's so awesome. And I am not sponsored by them. I wish I was. For the amount of times that I sing their praises, I feel like I should be sponsored by them. Anyway, there we go. There, we've got some nice colorful bugs at the bottom. They each have their own unique look. So we're going to move on to, I think we'll move on to the flowers and add some depth to the flowers. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Thanks for the thumbs up. Art on paper is how I started too. I didn't start into digital until I drew on paper and canvas from the time I was, well, the first thing I drew on that got noticed was vinyl chairs in our kitchen, and I was 3. But after that, I switched to paper and canvas, and I drew on paper and canvas until I was 20, I'd say about 27 years old. The first time I took a computer art class, it was a very new class, very cutting edge at the time. I was in one of the first computer art classes in my university. And let me tell you, it didn't do this kind of thing. It's really come a long way since then. Okay, let's go to the flower layer. That's a vector layer. I'm going to go right above that and start a new layer. It's going to be my paint layer on top of my flowers. So let's go in with some gold. Oh, it's a little bit, I want it to be a little bit different. Let's go in with a darker gold. And I'm going to go find the lighter. Oh, I've already done some. Yay. Okay, well, we need to do more because I wasn't really noticing it. Okay, so what layer is that on? Let me find what layer that's on. Is it on this layer? Okay, this is how I figure out when I have a lot of layers like this. This is how I figure it out. I start turning off layers. I just making them invisible, and I can figure out what layer my paint is on. How about here? I'm looking for this particular circle. Okay, wow. Where is it? It's not there. So I must have done it back here. Let's see if it's that layer. Ah, there we go. So I already have a paint layer, a wet paint layer, so we'll stick with that one. And just to not confuse things, I will delete this layer. I have a lot of layers going on. But not too bad. Like, they still all fit on the screen. That's how I kind of judge. Like, are you getting out of control with your layers? So I am a little bit out there, and I don't know if I'm going to worry about that. I think I'll let that blend in when I do the petals. Okay, we've gone a little bit bigger. Ah, there we go. If I didn't want to let that blend in, I could go like that, which I'm going to do. Okay, so I added a little bit of shading to that. Let's do the same thing here. Especially since I put that stroke of paint behind. I was getting wild when I did that, I have to tell you. I'm gonna leave it though. Not sure I like if it's like, it's just adding more movement because I do want this field to look quite busy, and it just adds a little more movement. And here, oh, fun. I get to highlight my the curves in these petals. Yay, that's nice. How about if we go back in with a yellow? Oh, nope, 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 nope. If you notice there, look, it's just almost the same tone. So that's not going to work. Take that out. There it was. See? No. Okay, so I'm going to keep with this color and just go around my drawing and find sort of these lighter tones that I can enhance, shade, create some variation, clean up the edges on. And I might clean that up just a little. Whoopsie, not that last one. Okay. This one has quite a bit going on. Oopsie, wrong tool. Let's go back. Let's go back. Get on the right. There we go. I see I've got some purple from the background showing through on those leaves. We'll come back to that one. I just want to go grab all these lighter yellows. Let's see, is this gonna, oh, it is just enough difference. I might bring this size down to do this one. Wow, kind of went crazy over here on this flower. So I think that we'll let that live there because I can blend that in with another color. It'll make it more interesting. It kind of makes, by adding the darker around, it makes the circle feel like it's more of a sphere. It's got more depth to the center of the flower. Okay, I'm still enjoying my morning coffee. It's cooling off though, I have to say. You notice a lot of tapping going on, and that's because I definitely have to add more paint to get the color to show. Okay, so these haven't been painted in any color yet. Let's see. I'm about to, oh no, let me go over here and shade a few flowers here before I switch my color. I'm going to go pretty dark with all of that. And then maybe blend up there. You know, I could just keep going and going on these flowers. I really could. There's just so many little petals and leaves that I can make more painterly, which I will do. I don't know if I'll do them all in front of you, but eventually I will, you know, I'm feeling like when I'm finished with the drawing, maybe I'll start posting it. There's like a comments. I don't want to do that yet. There's a comments section, sort of like a post section where you can actually post a still on YouTube. I don't know if you were aware of that. But if you subscribe to someone's channel, I think you can get to it. And I've posted a couple of stills, which are line drawings for people to color in. But please subscribe because I think I'm going to start posting my finished work, or at least a section of my finished work on there, so that people can kind of see how the details worked out. Oh, I see a little error here. So this flower doesn't have the back filled in at all yet. The back petals, let's fix that. I bet you noticed that when I was shading and I didn't. And you're like, fill in the back petals. And I just went on and I just passed right over it. I can imagine. It's so frustrating when communication is only one way. Let me check the comments because it isn't totally one way. I don't have any new comments though. Thanks for checking. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate you coming by. All right, so I think, so we've got orange, yellow, and then these purple and blue flowers are actually picking up the background. They're actually not painted yet. And so I think I am going to have some purple and blue flowers in there. So I think I'm going to go here because the background is so strong in purple. I'm going to go ahead and put blue petals on this one, on aqua type petal. Let's choose this. We'll do this aqua and then we'll highlight it with that aqua. Now, let's do this aqua and then we'll shade it. That's what we'll do. Okay, here we go. I'm going to outline first. And then increase my brush size and fill in. And I might actually add, the dark shade before I increase my brush size, just to see what happens when I do that. So my dark shade was this one. This may be something I go back and redo, but I'm just, always like to see what a tool can do. So I'm just gonna keep my brush size small, and then I'm gonna go back and increase. When I switch back to that light color, let's make this 40. Let's double the size. Oh yeah, it works. Yes, I might go back and put more of that darker blue in. Yeah. I think I'm going to make a video this week on how to load palettes in, how to get cool palettes, how to load palettes in. I only know one way to load a palette in to this, and that is to create a painting that you like and then take a photo of it and put it in, or take just a photo of, off the internet that you really like the colors on, and you import it in here as a photo, and then it'll create a palette, which is what I did earlier, and I deleted that photo. I'm kind of surprised I deleted it, but I did. But it gave me this palette, and you see image 3447. That was my own personal image that I made, and this palette came from that. And so I've been working with that. And so then this is the actual palette of this painting. And as you can see, I've added, what have I added? I've added some tints. Mostly I've added tints. I added a couple shades on the brown. Yeah. So, but I've stayed pretty true to this. I haven't like branched into completely other colors. I've done tints, which are adding white to the color, and shades, which is adding black to the color. Okay. And tones technically are adding the opposite color to the color. And then we get into the color wheel, which I'm not going to get into today. I'm going to keep going. Thank you for coming on and watching. I really appreciate the views. It helps keep things moving forward in this effort to become a YouTube artist. All right, where are we going next? We're going with that blue, I think we could do, let's do this one kind of the darker blue. And we'll do a little highlighting then. We'll do the opposite on this one. Oh, it went off there, off the rails. I've learned to try and keep my hand out of the way so you can actually see the color going on, because watching my hand go like this is way less interesting than watching the color go on. But I still fail occasionally, and my hand covers things up. And I have to say, oh, that's nice. It's not erasing the green, so I do have this on a layer on top of my leaf layer. My leaf layer is separate. It's there and it's there. My flower layer is kind of completely separate, which is nice because then I can erase around the edges and I'm not erasing the green. That is the advantage of layers over paper. Paper, you just, things are, oh shoot, I just goofed. So that's the disadvantage, is that you pick up the wrong brush and now you've got a layer and you didn't mean to do, operating in a way that you didn't mean it to operate in. So paper has its advantages and digital has its advantages. And being able to go back and forth between the two is, in my opinion, is it's a talent. It's just like, not a talent, it's a skill. It's not a talent, it's a skill, because you've just basically picked up another tool when you pick up digital. But because it's trying to mimic real life, it's just such a nuanced experience. You have to experience it to understand. I need a bigger brush. So this, to me, is so much more beautiful, these painterly brushes, than the flat. I mean, the flat color, this is all flat color right now. Oh, no, it's not. I actually have some watercolor in here. So do I even have, okay, this scarf is still flat color. It's the vector color. The sun right now is just, and the sky are just vector color. They're very flat, which vector it's an amazing tool for scaling. You don't get pixels with vector. You get pixels as soon as you switch to pixelated brushes, which are the wet brushes. That's like a main thing to learn about digital art that will help you understand what this tool does. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. All right, so blue. We'll do some, well, these are roses. And I don't know why. I think I need to stay true to my rose colors. Let's go do that. Let's go find that color. We're on a wet brush. It's got to be the lightest pink, and I may have there. I've got a pink there that they took from one of these. I think that's going to be my pink for the roses. I'm going to just blob in. And then I'll go around with a fine brush Do I have any roses on the other side? I do not. So this is my only little patch of roses. Great. So I think I'll go with a white around the edges, and I'll make it really small. And blend it. You know, a way that you could learn these tools if you don't have these tools, if you've not don't have this program and you get it new, is rather than try and do your drawing and learn how to use the program, you could upload coloring pages as a JPEG, as a photograph, and then you'd have a line drawing. You can just trace over it and then fill in all the colors. And I mean, I think that would be a great way to learn how to use this program. So you're not like constantly judging yourself while you're also making all these mistakes with the tools and getting confused, because that's what's going to happen. Trust me, that will happen if you upload a digital program and you've never used one before. But taking the pressure off yourself about the drawing part of it while you're while you're using the tools is a great idea. Or do the drawing on a piece of paper, trace it in a black line, upload it, take a photograph of it, upload it as a digital photograph, and then you know, I'm just like, how do we make this easier for people so they don't suffer through too much? Okay, that pink and white is down here. We need to put it somewhere else to balance it out. Let's put a light pink flower up here. We'll go bigger with that brush. I like the purple and the blue together here. So let's come back with the purple and the blue. We'll just do a little highlighting on this side. So these guys are orange already. What happens if I'll come back to them. What else do we want to do? A nice light pink like that. Get some balance going here. I think we're going to do this flower. Oh, it's already orange. Okay, my bad. Let's do this one. I'm going to come back in with another color. I think I'm going to choose that purple right now. That purple right there. Let's go have some fun with the purple. Mix it in with this pink. Beautiful. And I think I told myself I was going to do that blue, and I just covered it all up. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I like that. I'm working back and forth between the blue and the purple right now. Love it. Got the purple. Let's go a little bit smaller. Too small. Okay. All right, so I think I'm going to go into these orange petals. Sorry, get off the rails here. Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Okay. So something I wanted to do was I actually want to make her scarf pick up all these colors. So I might stop and work on that so you can see that happen in case you have to go, because I think this is an important part of the painting. So what I need to do is find that scarf in a way where I can isolate it. Let me see if I can. Is that scarf painted anywhere? There it is. It's painted there in the pink. So I am going to choose my isolate button, which is my magic wand. Okay, I'm choosing that. See how the dashed is happening? Interesting. That little tiny bit of pink in there. Okay, and then this little bit up here. Okay, so now I can kind of go a little wild with my colors and go all over the place, but it's only going to stay inside the scarf no matter what layer I go on. So let's go on the same layer as, let's put the scarf and the bugs on the same layer. Just to kind of, I don't need to create a new layer to do this. And I'm going to go with my oil paint short brush. I'm going to go fairly big to start with. And I'm just going to start dabbing the paint all over the scarf. I don't want this to turn into mud, so I do have to be careful about that. And putting two really opposite colors like that next to each other, it's a little risky. But these are just pixels. I could always just go over the top of it. So let's go with that light pink now and fill in. And then I'm going to come back with some yellows. I'll probably keep the yellows away from her skin because her skin has got a lot of yellow in it. So see how I just started like blending and it turned into gray, which I kind of look at that as that's kind of like mud. It's not a vibrant color, so I have to be careful about that. And the way to avoid it is to just keep dabbing and putting fresh paint on top instead of blending. Here, it's okay. Well, yeah, it's got a little muddy as soon as the blue went into the... Okay. I may end up going with, so where am I? I'm on, I shouldn't have done that. Now I tapped and I don't know here. Am I here? Oh, it's on the bug layer. I'm going to put a layer right on top so that I don't have to tap as much. And I think I'm going to put a little bit more of this kind of blue in there. So it's not actually mixing with the pink and the purple at this point. It's a little faster. And then let's go add some yellow and see what happens. Like I said, I'm going to keep the yellow away from her skin. I almost have totally cleaned up, covered up that purple. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of green from here. I'm going to make my brush smaller, and I think that might be a lot smaller. I haven't quite got the look that I've been trying to get, that's my goal with this yet. I'm getting there on this one, this area, and I think it's because I have to just go small now. I'm gonna blend a little bit with that yellow. Okay, that's the look I'm looking, that's what I'm really going for, is now I'm gonna go back and add some of that purple back in. There we go. Okay, so here we're going to go add, the purple's going to be the last thing. I'm going to go back and just kind of add smaller amounts of the colors that I've already gotten okay with. So we'll look at this in relationship to the whole. And it's hard to tell with the, for me, it's a little bit hard to tell with the dash lines going on. We'll check again in a minute. What do I have? I have some green. What's nice, the green doesn't add, it doesn't make mud. It makes, when the two go together, it just makes another version of green, yellow green, because they are, so they're not opposites. Like when you put the purple in, purple is a complementary color to yellow, I believe. And so it's like an opposite of yellow. And that's when you end up with tones, basically, or mud, depending on what you want to call it. Not throwing shade on mud, by the way, just saying. It's not what I'm after today. And that purple is not on this layer. It's on the layer below, the pinks and the purples. That's why I'm not getting mud. That's why I created a layer on top of, where am I? I'm up here. This is on top of that one. They're not mixing. It's hard not to get impatient when you get in the bigger areas, but I'm not going to get the same look if I get impatient and start just blobbing on big pieces of color as up here, where it's all pretty small. I'm going to try something here just because in my mind I'm curious what happens if we kind of erase through to the pink below. The only thing I don't like about this is I don't feel like, well, is it blending? It looks more blotchy. So we're not doing that. Take them off. I just wanted to try that. It could be, it's useful though, in keeping things from turning into mud by having a blank spot underneath. Oops, still got my eraser on there. I may come back and use that again. Wrong tool. Give you the overall look. Realizing I want my dabs to go in different directions to kind of look more like, more painterly. All right, let's go and add. I'm going to add a little bit of the dark blue that was in her coat. Just here and there, not too much. Yeah, just a little bit down here in this bigger field. You can get away with it. Let's add back in some yellow. I haven't put any orange in here yet, or red. I think that's what's coming next. Yeah, for sure. Let's go there. Boom. So interesting, it just automatically is blending with these colors. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going with this, make it a little bit bigger. And in order to get, oh there, I just needed to add a little more. Now it's working. I was like not able to get the brightness of that red down here, but I can now. See how that's looking. Yay! That's the look that's what I was looking for. Okay. What else can I add in here? I think I sort of feel like I'm going to add a stronger version of the aqua. I don't know if it's going to show. It does. Okay, I can always select this and work on it some more, but I think you're getting a feel for what I was after there. I might stop because I'm pretty happy with it, and I kind of don't want to. Sometimes you can go too far with things. So I'm just going to hit deselect. There we go. And that scarf is going to live like that for a while. I'm going to work up here on the, I can always come back and do more and more and more detailing on these flowers, but I kind of want to work on the sky and this morning, and I may end up doing the last details on my own, but we'll go over this before I get out and about for the day. Thank you for those who are hanging with. I really appreciate it. And those who are new coming by. So let's get back to the sky. Okay, here I have, this is, I'll turn this off so you can see, like that is my painterly layer on the sky. And then we already proved that when you put blue and pink together, I kind of made mud. So I may do another layer, oops, on top of it. That's going to be my blue layer. So now what I want to know is when I get up to my sun, yeah, I'm going to end up having to select my sun and do a separate layer. Let's see here. Let's find the sun. I'm going to add a layer right away, and I'm going to do the sun first. Let's do the sun, and then we'll go back down here. As you go up, these layers are on top. As you go down, these layers are on the bottom. They're behind. So I want to do a sun, and I want to do it on top of the yellow. We're going to add a couple. We're going to paint it with the oil paint short, and we're going to go lighter and darker than what I have there. So let's start with this one. Make our oil paint short pretty big. Oh, I didn't select it. That's okay. I'll clean it up a little bit. And I'm actually, yeah. Let me select it. I'm gonna have to take all the paint off it and then select it. Get on the right layer, select it. Okay, now I'm gonna go on my paint layer, go back, grab the paint that I had in the wet brush and do the same thing. And notice how I can go all over and it doesn't go outside. Let's put some of that light yellow back in. And let's go with a nice dark orange. What happens if we go with a huge? And then come back with my super light. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'm kind of going back and forth till I get it just how I want it. And then I'm going to go with actual white and shrink my brush just a little bit. Okay, so here is where I'm like, all right, I really want some highlights. So I'm going to add a layer plus right above. Go back, blend a little bit of the yellow color in with it. I want it darker than that. Okay, so I've got a little bit too much highlight going on here. So I'm going to use the eraser. I'm not liking this at all. See, now the advantage is on that layer, I can just clear that layer. Clear layer. Okay. I like that sun a lot better. I do want to add the white. Maybe I will go back here and do it on this layer. Oops, I have my eraser still. So here's what I'm going to do. I know the look I want. I'm not going to get it by mixing these oil paint shorts here. I'm going to go up and I'm going to grab a rake. It's also a pixel brush. I'm going to add a big rake and I'm going to do it in white. That's almost it. There we go. There we go. I'm going to stop now. And I'm going to merge that down. So I just have one sun and I'm going to deselect. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to work on my blue sky layer that will be behind the sun but in front of this pink, which may or may not be my, you know, my final decision. So let's start adding it with a nice big oil paint brush. Okay, so I might just go like this, move that layer on top. I like that better. So now on top of that, we're going to add some yellow on its own layer. Pretty big, but kind of translucent. I'm going to go translucent. And if I want it to be more intense, I just will go over it a little bit more. So between these two layers, what would happen if I added another layer? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Add another layer right in between the two. So it's going to be behind the pink, in front of this, and we're going to go kind of dark. I'm going to go with the dark purple. Why did it turn pink? Didn't I just pick the dark purple? That's the dark purple I want. I'm on this layer. I'm going to undo that pink brush stroke. There we go. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to just like do completely experimental here. Add this. I'm going to make this not translucent. It's kind of a dark green. It gives a little bit feel of a forest back there. I would say I probably need some here. So I'm going to add a layer in front of that. So that's sort of blocked in, and it's just adding a little bit of depth into this. Now I could go in there, shrink my brush down, and I could actually make these a little bit more tree-like if I wanted to, here and there. How much do you need to say what it is you want to say? Do you need a lot of detail? It's always the question. Now we're starting to understand she's in a field in front of a forest. Just because we're making the top of these marks look a little bit more tree-like. Voila, all of a sudden she's coming out of a forest. Sorry if I slid down. I'm so sorry. I wonder if I lost viewers for doing that. Sorry. I get really into my work, and when I do a live and I kind of lose. That's why. So this part is not figured out. I'm realizing I need to join that right there because it's making a funny, weird thing in her head. There we go. Okay, that's looking better. And I might go up here and just do a little bit of the eraser on some of the, we're going to go with the opacity eraser, which means that I can lightly erase. I don't have to completely erase. I don't really like the shape of that, and it's really obvious, so I'm just going to put a little bit of an influence of the arc shape in here on some of these. Okay. So we've got the sky, the bugs. I feel like I could improve this bug area, but I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. So I'm not sure I'm going to work that out in front of you. And I'm going to go back here and pick up some of those details on the flowers. So we have to go back to the flower layer, which is here, the painterly layer. Go back up to my paintbrush. And I need to I think I will do this color. I'm going to come back and add some light pink to that one. Looking for blank flowers. Everybody's got some paint on this side. Let's go over here. The blue one is still blank. And I think I did decide I wanted a couple blue flowers, so we're doing it. No, that makes mud. We'll add a bright yellow onto that. Let's go grab that yellow. Let's go right there. Yeah, there we go. To go a little bit smaller. It's bleeding so much. No. Oops. Let's find that really light pink. There we go. Do a little blending here. I think I should choose the yellow actually. Yay. Okay, done, 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 done. Not done. What's going on here? What color do I have? Let's choose. Let's choose a little bit darker pink here. Like it. Like it. Just a little bit smaller. It wants to, it requires more tapping. But I have a little more control now. So the tapping adds more, when you're using a blending brush, it adds more pigment, more pixels, cleans out the other pixels. Or deletes them, I should say. Now I definitely used white in there on purpose. So let's not get rid of all that white. Okay, those flowers are finished. Let's go back over to the other side. Done, done, done. Done, done, done. Okay. I could go back and work on the leaves some more. I'm going to do a fun thing. This is sort of a fun thing that you can do. Oh, the bird. We still have to do the bird. But let's just do the filters for the fun of it. We'll just change our hue. I'm going to hit the back button eventually, but I just want to see what happens when we start changing hue and saturation. Oh, I like it with more saturation. Yeah, definitely more saturation. So we can also try these filters, darken, multiply. So I'm going to go back, 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 back. There. And now I'm going to do, so I'm back to my original drawing. I'm just going to hit multiply, darken, color burn, linear. Sometimes I'll see something come up that I go, oh, that's like so cool. The hard light actually looks pretty good. I'm not sure if I like it better though. Vivid light. Kind of crazy what some of these filters do. It's kind of fun. Okay, I'm going to go back to normal because I've been thoughtful. Oops. Undo. I've been thoughtful about my, come on, close, please close. How do I get you to close? There. I've been thoughtful about my color choices, so I'm not really having to go back and fix things. The only thing I'm feeling like I'm not done with, well, I'll do the bird before I leave today, is the ground, and I haven't quite figured out how I want that to look. So we're going to work on the bird and then depart today. So on the bird, let's first of all find a layer where I can select just the bird right here. Okay, I can select the bird. Now I can create a paint layer that's just the bird. Let's do it on the same, kind of like near the sun. I'll do it next to the sun, above the sun. I'm going to choose a wet brush, and I'm going to start with a black watercolor. Watercolor, black, not too big. Okay, I want to so I have the eraser brush it's like a soft eraser, and it won't take all the color and it won't leave. I'm going to make my watercolor a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to start and then I can actually just sort of create an illusion of feathers by just putting these. I don't want to overlap them with the other watercolor that I've put down, because it'll create a big watercolor blob. See how that one grew? Because I overlapped with another one. So what I can do now, just add that right there, is I can do another right here. This is my watercolor layer. I'm going to add another one right on top of it. And I might switch over and choose my darkest blue, just so it's not like just a flat black. Let's see what happens when we add a little bit of blue here and there. I don't want it to start to look like a bluebird. I'm just really trying to make the black a little more interesting. And I'm now going to switch back over to the black. I'm going to make my line even smaller and see if I can't. Aha. So I'm layering. This is on a whole nother layer. It's above, it's up here. It's not down with the other. This is a wet layer. This is a wet layer, but they're not joining. They're not mixing at this point. Oh, I went over into the blue. I'm really not trying to do, I'm not going to do every feather stroke. I'm just creating an illusion. How much do you need to say what you're trying to say? Okay, so here, okay, I'm going to add one more. Where am I? Here, plus add a layer. I want to define an eye on each side. Okay, I'm going to deselect that so we can look at it. I like it. That's interesting. Yeah, so we're seeing the back of the bird. Now, I could make the body all black and then it would look like we're looking underneath the bird. I actually think I want to do that. So maybe I'll go here where the eyes are. Oh, okay, doing it. So I'm on the eye layer. I don't have the select button right now, just saying. So this sort of really defines where his body is. And I'm going to come back in and do an eraser. Oopsie. Not like that. I'm going to get a hard eraser. And I don't know, I think I like the other one better. So the beauty of this is back, back, back. Back to the two eyes. Okay. That looks like the way I'm going to go. All right, so it is, oh my goodness, 10 o'clock in my time zone. Checking the comments. Lords Fernandez. Oh, thank you for all the emojis. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying this. And I am about to move on with my day, and I really appreciate y'all coming by. I'm trying to grow my channel, so please subscribe if you enjoyed this, if you learned anything. I come on here a couple times a week and draw live at this point in my life. I don't know if I'll be doing this forever, but I've been doing it now for, I just started about 6 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, and I really do enjoy it. It really stretches me. So I'm going to be doing it for a while more. If you enjoy it, if you're learning anything, please subscribe. Hit the like button. It helps the algorithm pick me up. Alrighty. Thanks a lot. Have a wonderful day.